Well, we should just get into it then, because
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start the conversation, and then as people jump in, they'll jump in, and yeah, we'll go from there.
yeah. All right. So then, tell me how your quarantine is going.
So, as an update, so here's what it looks like for me. I did, I did get laid off from my primary job. So I'm not working on that. I have one client that I'm working with on just like a really, really small project. So it's not like a steady flow of income. But my reality is that my general income flow has stopped. And so right now, what I've been doing to like bide the time is I'm in my kitchen a lot. So I'm cooking. I'm getting to like really think about meals and prepare meals, and like, okay, I'm gonna be in the kitchen. I clean a lot. I FaceTime every day, several times a day, different groups of friends. I try to limit how much TV I watch. Actually, in my household, we said, let's try to not watch TV until after 5 p.m.
That's interesting.
Just so that we can do other things, because there is a lot I can watch. I mean, I've got shows on Hulu, Netflix,
Right.
Disney, everything you can imagine, but I don't want to spend all of my time just watching TV. So, so I do that. I have a front porch that I can sit on, thank goodness, and so I'll sit there a little bit, or on my rooftop, just so I can get some sun. I think since I have the ability to go outside,
on my patio.
Yeah, I do that, and that's mainly it for now. That's mainly it for now. I can expand to other stuff, but I'm going to look into other activities that I can be implementing as time goes by, as more and more weeks get added to much longer we have to stay inside.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's minus the TV thing. I've been watching a whole lot of TV. I'm not gonna lie. But I honestly have been finding any little reason to get out of the house, like to run errands and stuff. So whether it be like, oh, I have to go to the grocery store, or I have to go.
Stay your ass inside.
I know. See, I have a little issue though, and this has just been since I was a kid. Like I have a hard time being inside. Like I would get headaches, I would get cabin fever even as a young child. So this is like really, really difficult for me. But I've, found ways to keep myself busy. Luckily, I don't just live in one place. So I can go to my boyfriend's house. Like, like my friends live across the street, even though they said don't visit your friends. It's too late. We already done quarantine together.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me on FaceTime, this is what she's doing. Basically, that when quarantine started, if she hasn't seen you within the last 2 weeks, you won't be seen. But if she has seen you within these last 2 weeks, she'll accept that.
Makes sense.
I guess like if you trust that person, you can track that they've been quarantining. I think maybe it's safer. Hey, Kisa, thanks for joining. So I was like, oh, I like that idea. Like basically, like if I haven't physically seen you in the last 2 weeks, then basically that's
yeah.
I hate to say it, I'm not gonna see you till this shit is over with.
All over. And another thing too, you have to be mindful of your friends that may live with older people, like if they live with their parents or something like that. Like I try to be mindful of that, or if they have any young children around, or kids with any type of respiratory problems. Asthma is a big deal. So things like that, you just want to kind of be mindful of. I think for me, honest to God, I don't think it's really hit me completely how serious this all is. Like I know it is, but I don't know if it's just a mixture of optimism and faith that just like, we'll get through it, and I do know people who have contracted, I don't hate to say contracted, who have been affected. But yeah, I want to be safe, so I've just been kind of.
I know people who caught it, who have it too. Or friends of friends or family members of friends that have it, and it's a really scary thing. And one thing that I've noticed is that this virus knows no prejudice.
Yeah.
Age, race, demographic, region, it doesn't matter. So that's why it has to be taken so lightly. Quite frankly, I commend the mayor of LA and the governor of California. Like, I feel like California, I feel like our state has been doing a pretty decent job.
Yeah, for sure.
At trying to keep it as controlled as possible. So, me personally, I'm trying to remain as optimistic as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I'm going a little crazy, but not bad enough to where like, oh no, yeah. So,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think overall California has been handling it pretty well, considering
it has.
we're
It has.
metropolitan and there's people from all over, and
Yeah.
it just kind of sucks for some of the businesses, of course, but
Right.
this too shall pass,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. So something that you brought up, you and I had a conversation about, was especially as creatives and entrepreneurs and people who are striving to be self-starters within their own business, is the pressure that we've been receiving on social media, specifically regarding like, oh, the post like, oh, if you come out of this and you haven't finished your business plan, or what was the other one, or if you haven't learned something,
right, like if you haven't applied this, or if you haven't started that business or created the site or did the logo or whatever it may be, there's been a lot of Facebook statuses and tweets kind of in that direction of this is what you should be doing. Right. And I am all for positive affirmations and for encouraging people to do those things. However, given the case of what we're facing now, you have to understand, you have to really take into consideration the mental wellness of everyone, the mental health of everyone, and how mentally a lot of people, regardless of how creative you are not in the mental space to do that.
I agree. And so like Keisha just asked, like, what have we been doing to maximize our time? And I think, that's a good attitude to have. But I also think that can also be hindering, because we're putting pressure on ourselves to do. Like, we get enough of that, I feel like, before Corona hit us. Like, I think this whole pandemic is not by accident. I think it is by design to get us to just pause.
Yeah,
just reflect,
absolutely.
And just, just not even worry and think about all the extra stuff. So I definitely have found time to maximize, and I've had time to write things down and plan and, be able to actually execute on certain ideas. But you're right. Like, I shouldn't feel guilty if I decide to not get out of bed until 1 o'clock.
Right.
I shouldn't feel guilty for that.
I read a tweet that I was like, oh, this really resonated with me, and this is what I kind of want the point to get across, is that someone tweeted, they're like, as far as productivity goes, yeah, you can be productive, but in all honesty, maintaining your health, staying, keeping mind of the regulations of the CDC and all of that is being productive. If you are keeping your family safe, if you are quarantining, if you are adhering to those guidelines that the CDC is giving out, that is productivity. Focusing on staying healthy is being productive. And for a lot of people, that might be the only thing that they want to focus on, is making sure that, we bring down the contractions and, we're just keeping ourselves safe. Because if that's all we can think about, then baby, by all means, that's what I want you to focus on. Everything else will fall into place, but everyone's health is what matters the most. Yeah. So that really resonated with me. Yeah, I
agree, and I don't think that really hit me until you said it. To be honest, like, kudos to you, because I have like been like, damn, it's 1 o'clock, or dang, it's 10 o'clock, because I have this thing like I want to be up by 6 o'clock. We have, and that's been floating around too. Like, entrepreneurs, we should be up by 6 a.m. doing something. But it's at the same time, we're all kind of at a standstill. So there's things that I can be doing, but where's it going to go? Like, I don't know what my timeline is right now. You know what I mean? Like, I can't end for May. I was supposed to be having a 5-year anniversary of LaMay Day, on May 1st, and it's unfortunate, but I'm like, hey, F it. Now I just have time to plan out for 2021. 6 years. It'll just be different. But there's not too much planning you can do. I mean, luckily for us, a lot of our work is virtual. So I've had a couple of clients, thankfully, in terms of branding, but a lot of the buttons that I was pushing before this happened, and they just kind of fell flat. And that, like I said, that has to be by design.
Right. Absolutely. Like, for me personally, like, and because we've been communicating here and there, but like doing this live for me, I had to work up to that. I haven't been productive in these past 2 weeks, because I personally was not there. I was not in that mental space. I was like, I would open my computer screen, stare at it for an hour, and then close it. And I'm like, I really can't, I don't know what to do. That is not where my head is. That's not where my heart is at. I was more concerned with staying safe, staying inside, communicating with my family and friends, making sure that I had everything in place that I could possibly do to stay safe. So I didn't want to work. I didn't. Like, I was like, okay, well, then I'm not going to. And I'm not going to put pressure on myself, because I would read these statuses and think, shit, am I like, should I feel guilty for not doing, hey, Stewie, thank you for joining. Should I feel guilty for not doing more? And that's the last thing that anyone should be dealing with right now. You shouldn't be dealing with that kind of pressure. If you have it in you to work and be creative, then great. But if you don't have that in you, wait until you do. And
yeah, because I mean, that's what ultimately pushed us to the state that we're in. It's capitalism and people not wanting to just sit their ass down is what put us to where we are. Like, if people were just adhering to the warnings beforehand and just sat down somewhere and stopped trying to do too much. And that's with a lot of diseases. A lot of people just don't know how to just sit their ass down. And that's what causes the pandemic, even if it's just the pandemic in your own household, in your own life, in your own career. I think this is a lesson to all of us to just sit your ass down and just be, you know, be that. And for those people who can't tell them they can't say they're bored, I don't want to hear. I have a quote about boredom that I actually got from Michael Bernard Beckwith, who is the pastor of Agape. He has a quote that he says, boredom is the lack of creativity. Yeah. To be bored is to lack creativity. Yeah, because I'm definitely not bored. Yeah, like I don't say I'm bored. I will say I'm resting and I'm taking a break, but I'm certainly not lacking creativity by any means. Like, I have a buildup of creativity. So I think, you know, if we get out of that mindset, like, I hate that song, sitting in the house and I'm in the house bored. I hate that song so much. I have a funny story to tell you about that song later. When we're off, I'm going to send you something really funny. Okay. But continue. No, I've been even seeing like older people doing the little TikToks with them sitting in the house, I'm in the house. Yeah. Like, I don't believe in boredom. Like, I don't believe in boredom. I believe either you're being creative and you're functioning or you're not. Like, I don't believe in boredom. Like, to be bored is to lack creativity. So we're all about being creative. So regardless, if within that boredom, write something down. Like, just, you know, I'm not saying do something, lay there and just think about that moment. Like, okay, what is it that I'm feeling? Meditate. Why am I feeling this way? Let me reflect. Like, I don't believe in boredom. So I definitely agree. I remember when I called you earlier this week and I was like, all right, I haven't been doing shit. You did. I've just been late, and I was like, all right, I think I pulled myself out of that funk. Yeah. Let's do something. Let's go on live. We can't film obviously right now, but we can go on a live together, have a conversation, and hopefully encourage people to not have to feel that pressure. So that's why I was like, all right, I got myself to it. I had to work up to it, but I did it. But I was not once have I been bored. I've just been very pensive. Yeah, exactly. And then I see people saying like it's a good time to clean, it's a good time to organize. Yep. I've been like little Susie homemaker around my household, driving people crazy about washing their dishes and everything else. But today I had a dope idea that I'm executing on with some girls, and it's forced me to have to go through my closet and clean out my closet. But I mean, aside from me and you, because we have our relationship, and then of course I have Kisa, and then I have my boyfriend. Who would you say is your like go-to person to vent or to kind of be like your accountability partner? You know what? So I'm blessed, honestly. My household, for those of y'all that don't know, so in my household, I live in a kind of big place and I have 4 roommates, right? And we are very close friends. So I'm blessed enough to have the interaction that I have daily, and I get to speak to them. But I do have friends, and for those of you that do know me, they know that like I have my sis Anisha who's joined us. I talk to her often. The people who do know me know that I've got a pretty solid crew, and I check in with them often. I've developed some pretty solid friendships, and so we'll do group chats. We use the House Party app so that we can go on there and play games and just talk.
But my circle has been, Davi, I love you so much, Davi. I'll call you later. Thank you for joining. My friends have always been very supportive, and so I make it a point to make sure I check in with them, even if it's going to be a 2-minute conversation. That helps. It might just help you for the entire day. So those have been like my accountability folks. Like my squad has always been that.
I will say what's good that's coming out of this situation is like the group chats have been lit. Like, we've been checking in, and we've been, I'll just hit you up just to be like, how you doing? Like, how are you guys handling this? And we've been cooking. We've been cooking a lot, sharing recipes.
Keisha, I've been cooking a lot. Yes, like I've been cooking. I tweeted something the other day. I was like, damn, the last time I cooked this much was when I had a man. I was like, I'm single as fuck. I'm using my kitchen so much. Like, what? So that's it.
A lot. What was crazy is I feel like it's just a deeper version of what I've already been practicing in my household and what I've already been trying to implement. But now it's like, okay, now you have to go harder. Now you have to be a little bit more creative with what you eat. And then especially trying to go to the grocery store and all that, it's been, I've been ordering all kind of food. It's been a mess, but it's been a wonderful, wonderful mess. So I can't complain. And then in terms of creativity, I mean, I don't know. We'll probably end up doing the LaMay Day anniversary party maybe towards the end of the year. Or what I really want to do is I want to go in and look at my vision board. Maybe now would be a good time to kind of go and resurface my vision board and kind of look at some things, kind of see if I can maybe add to it, because I feel like once we come back from quarantine, it's going to be the new year. Like, I think that's going to be our real new year.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have another pop party. I don't know.
I don't know. The benefits of how you cook you made too much lasagna, Marcus. Oh, that doesn't sound like a bad problem. You know what? I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, wouldn't it be something like, let's say I cooked for my friends. If you have the money to do it, I don't know. I cooked for my friends, and then I literally if I could send them like Tupperware's food in an Uber. I would be like, I'm not gonna do that because I don't have any money. But
are people Ubering right now?
But you can. Like, I've Ubered an object before, pre-pandemic. Like, one time I was hanging out with a friend downtown, and I came home and I left my keys at his place, and I was like, oh damn! So I had to order an Uber, and he legit brought me my keys.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good time. Like, that's another gift idea, because I know a lot of people's birthdays. Mine is May 1st. A lot of people's birthdays are coming, so just sending them little food or knickknacks would be really cute. Just little things like that is really good. Another thing that I've been trying to work on too, when I do find myself in a dead space and I kind of want to do something, is I look up webinars. I've gotten into a couple of branding webinars, hosting webinars, things like that.
Okay.
I've been sharing those with some of my friends, so that's been really cool. Podcasts, yes.
Batty Bints. I've been listening to a lot of great podcasts lately. Yeah, me too. I'm listening to the Brown Love podcast by Netflix, hosted by Dasha Polanco from Orange is the New Black.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Great show. Great podcast. Love that podcast.
Since we're talking about stuff that we've been watching.
Hey, Catherine. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Catherine. So one of the things that I've been watching, one show that movie I watched that was really, really good was The Banker. The Banker is really, really good. That's with Samuel L. Jackson and...
Keisha, it's on Apple Podcasts.
Oh, which one? Oh, yeah.
Brown Love,
so
the one I was
talking about. The Banker is really good. I've been actually tweeting about a lot of the content that I've been seeing. I have my thoughts on the Madam C.J. Walker movie, which I'm going to do a live chat with somebody else because that was interesting. I haven't been doing a lot of podcasts. I think I've been more so trying to fine tune what we got going on here. But
the thing about the podcast was I was like, okay, I can listen to this while I do something. And so I just got back on my computer 2 days ago. I hadn't touched it up until about 2 days ago. So particularly today, I was designing something. I was designing a flyer for someone, and I was like, I'll listen to this podcast while I'm designing. And it didn't feel distracting either. I'm totally in tune to what's being said, but I was still able to focus on what I was designing.
Right.
So I think that's what's really unique about podcasts. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, what else could we be doing? Oh yes, thank you. He's been hitting us with the ideas at home workout. That has
Oh
been
yeah, Alvinus. I love you, Alvinus. Thank you for
yes,
joining.
hi. Yes, that has
Yes,
been the thing that I have been
I
doing.
did
YouTube.
one home workout, and
Uh-huh.
I'm going to give myself a goal to at least incorporate more of that because I do want to stay fit. I mean, I don't work out already, but I definitely want to, put some attention to that. Yeah, I want to do some yoga, Kisa. Yeah, I do want to do some yoga.
Shout out to
Hey,
my girl
Renard.
Danny. She's not on, but Danny has a her like I want to say trap yoga style that she does tomorrow, Friday at 1:00. We did that with her last week, and it was really, 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 really good. So she did that. And other than that, I've been sharing some YouTube workouts with my friends. And then just using little knickknacks around the house. I'm probably going to do like a compilation of different YouTube stuff that I'll post at. But that's been really, really good. Fitness Blender is a good one too. I kind of have my own little routine. And then even though they say don't, I've been running around the neighborhood. Like me and Miku will go for a run just to kind of just get outside. What people aren't really talking about is that the sun supposedly is really good for our healing. And it's really good for those who have
it's a natural vitamin D booster.
Yeah.
You only need about 5 to 10 minutes in the sun to receive your daily amount of vitamin D.
Yeah, and I think that's what people should realize. I know they've been saying when you go outside, put on a mask and all that, which is fine. But I definitely think people should be going outside, going and being in nature. And that'll kind of prevent you from being a little stir crazy, even if it's just walking around the block. If you have a dog, walk the dog. But that's really important. Drinking a lot of water. I think that helps as well.
David Giampiccolo, thank you for joining.
Yeah, Kisa, exactly. It doesn't like the heat. So I try to, luckily we're in California, so we're able to be in the sun. So I just try to get as much sun into my system as possible. Even if I go and just sit in my car, child, I will go and sit in my car.
Yeah.
It might just work.
So I want to talk to maybe some people who don't have, like, honestly, we're blessed. Like, our living situations are pretty good. But I want to know, like, what would you suggest to people who maybe don't have, like, their own room? Like, there are people who have, like, a shared living space or, like, a shared studio or something. What are better ways that they could deal with having their own moments of privacy or something like that? I don't know. Do you have any ideas on
I would say
that? 'Cause that's a real thing.
Going for a walk. I think now is the time.
Freddie, thank you for joining.
Put your headphones in, take a stroll. Like, I think what's really even more important too is you can kind of get to know your neighborhood a little bit more. I think it's easy to really connect with your neighbors. I have a knack for not really knowing who my neighbors are when I move someplace, whereas my boyfriend or my best friends will start having conversations with people and they'll just know them. You know what I mean? Like, I've been trying to work on like actually saying hi, hello to my neighbors, and just hey, how you doing? I think that's really important. I think because we get so caught up in the day-to-day, of moving and going and shaking and moving, we don't take time to really know what's going on in our own scenery. So, it's just got to do that. Who's that? Look like a retired female bodybuilder.
Are you talking about me? That I look like a retired female bodybuilder? Well, if I'm retired, then I'm set, bro.
Get
like,
it.
Okay.
You beast in weight.
I'll take it. I say this every day. I'm a king and a queen.
Yeah, but
so I don't know if that was a jab, but okay, sir.
Sip wine on that one.
Period.
But no, it is good to have. It is good to have space. Like right now, I have a few people in my house, but when I need to go into my room and just reflect, I got some incense, I got some sage, I got some Palo Santo. Just whatever it is that you need to do to get into your own headspace, do that. Close the door.
Yeah, I do that. I'll take moments to separate time. Like I hang out downstairs a lot with my roommates, but when I need a moment to myself, I do retreat to my room. I'll play some music and I'll clean something.
Yeah.
Because I kind of zone everything out once I start doing that, and that's usually that's helped me a lot.
Like
Ivan, thank you for joining. Good to see you.
Did you feel like moments of irritability? Like, did you have to get over that period of being irritated, or does it come? And if so, like, how do you get over that?
Not so much. Well, I think I had like one moment of irritability. It wasn't particularly aimed at anyone, but it was more so like there was a lot of, we were watching the news a lot. And
that'll get you.
I was like, there's only so much information on that I want to take. I know the situation. I am aware of everything, and I will stay up to date. However, I want to cut it off when I want to cut it off. And I think there was one moment where I was like, everybody was like talking and updating. Oh, I just read this on this, and I had to be like, I had to step away. I had to step away. I was like, I've had my fix of that.
The
Chaz,
influx of information it can be annoying. And I would say what's kind of annoyed me is all the messages that people have been sending me, like the aunties and the cousins and whoever sending me these chain messages. This person said that this is gonna happen, and this person said that the army about to come, and like all of that has just been really, really aggravating to me, because I don't want, like, I just want to be in my space and just deal with what's around me in my direct surroundings and with my family.
Exactly.
But I think people sending all those messages off all the time is just kind of ridiculous. Like, okay, you don't really know. So everybody all of a sudden has a cousin that works at the Pentagon.
Yeah, there's a lot of false information and false remedies. And, you know, if you do a somersault and eat an orange backwards, you won't get like, child, there all these remedies. That's not just stay out of people's way.
Yeah, let's just
and yes, Anisha, it was Laurel's fault.
Yeah, we can't predict the future. We got to just deal with everything as they come. I've been doing my own research. Like I've been researching the masks as well, like the N95 mask. Like you don't know what's real and what's fake. Because I was like super like, heck no, I'm not wearing no mask. Like, but now I'm doing a little bit more research, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what they're saying, so why not take the extra precautions? But just being bombarded, like, it's just too much.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Have another sip of wine.
But yeah, well, aside from that, does anybody else have any questions for us?
Yeah, please ask us questions now. We wanted to open this up for people to, you know, ask us questions. How are you feeling about what we're talking about? Or, you know, certainly we could do some banter.
Well, did you watch the Madam C.J. Walker movie?
I have not seen it.
Okay.
I've heard mostly not good reviews.
That's interesting. I've heard really mixed. I've watched it. I don't know. It just kind of put me in a place. I think I've just been reflecting on Hollywood in general. And
my friend Chaz just asked, what are y'all doing to have some sense of joy during the quarantine?
This. What we're doing right now.
Honestly, conversation is joy. So I rely a lot on that. And I indulge a little more than I usually would on like a treat or something, like, you know, I don't, like, I'm not.
No, but what I was saying in regards to like, I've been looking at movies differently too. Like I noticed like I've kind of been shifting because, you know, Hollywood is shut down right now. You know what I mean? And so I'm wondering, like, what is everyone doing? Like, what's going to happen with all of these productions? And, you know, so for me, I just kind of been reflecting on, like, the writing process. I've been a lot more interested in writing, even though I myself don't write a movie. I'm going to produce a movie, but I'm not going to write it myself. And just, I've been reflecting on the processes of how the industry works. Like, think about all of the different films and projects that have just been shut down. Or, you know, streaming.
Marvel like, fan over here.
I know that usually
all of the shows I've been looking and movies that I've been looking. Look, I've been waiting for the Black Widow movie for years, and now I don't know when I'm going to get to see it.
And that was supposed to come out. Usually, it always comes out around my birthday.
That was coming out May 1st.
Like my birthday. And I was excited, so now that's not happening. But, you know, and then just looking at the different technologies, I think I've been really, really impressed with the new technologies. I'm going to do a not so shameless plug. I haven't officially announced it anywhere yet, but I am the co-founder of a new distribution platform called BingeWave. And what Binge Wave initially set out to be a distribution platform for movies and films, specifically in the independent space, to be able to host films. So let's say if you have an independent film and you've been submitting to film festivals and maybe you haven't gotten it picked up, maybe you have, and you want your film to be seen by a wider audience. Through Binge Wave, through our platform, we set up pop-up style movie screenings for independent filmmakers. So just before the pandemic had hit, Binge Wave had started booking screenings, and all of our screenings had to get canceled. So what we're doing now is we're implementing a watch party, which we're going to have our first independent film watch party next Wednesday. So I'm really excited about that.
Shameless plug.
Not so shameless. But yeah, so I'll definitely be sharing more information. That's my new venture. I see watch parties has become a thing. And because of that, we jumped on it. Like, a lot of people have been taking advantage of the newer technologies or technologies. House Party has been around forever. I had House Party on my phone years ago, and then I took it off. And now, if you don't have stocks in House Party, I don't know what you're doing. Because
I had never heard of the app until like a week or two ago, and someone was like, "Oh, get on the House Party app," and I joined. And I was like, "Where the heck has this been?"
It's been around for a long time. It's been around for a long time. So I definitely think this has just opened our eyes to the technologies, and it's kind of like we're living in the future. It's kind of like we're living in the future, in that we don't have to be all up under each other to connect. I mean, it was getting there anyway, but I think this is just a major push, even more so in that direction, which can be good, which can be bad. I just want to make sure we're not too stuck in this mode where when we do get out of this, we can't reconnect and connect with each other. That's my only concern, if any. But I'm excited about what I'm doing with Binge Wave. Follow at Binge Wave. And holler at me if you have an independent film, if you have a web series. We're doing web series screenings, independent films screenings. We have a huge network. We're nationwide. And yeah, we're going to be hosting watch parties for a lot of independent filmmakers. So I'm excited. So that's one great thing to come out of this.
I'm going to make a movie in my house and post it on Binge Wave.
Dope. But yeah,
one-man show.
Trying out.
Any more questions? Anybody want to ask any questions? We love y'all.
Who said that was BC? What's she talking about? Hey, Sandra.
Hey, Sandra. Thanks for joining.
Well, we'll leave it there on a positive tip. I see you got your wine. That's what's up. Living the good life. But I can't wait to see you again in person, J-Pen. I can't wait to see everybody.
I can't wait to finish our season because we had 2 more episodes to go.
Before Corona. I thought about that. Everybody's going to say, yeah, back in year 1 BC.
Well, you know what? It is a measure of time. Like, for example, in New Orleans, we have, it's very common to say something about like pre-Katrina or post-Katrina. But we say before this. You have that? Oh, it would happen before the storm. Oh, okay. It's a point of time. It's a reference of time. Because this is historic.
We are living in historical time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's that.
I know.
But yeah, well, I'm ready to sign out. I'm gonna go get me some food since I gotta cook and get my life together.
For sure.
But thanks everybody. We'll do this again, and then we'll hopefully by then Instagram will have a way to have multiple people, not just 2 people on live.
Yeah. Because I would have loved to have a guest. Someone asked if they could be a guest, and I was like, I don't know how to do that.
I know. We'll figure it out.
We will figure it out, but
we
have people who would love to join.
But thank you to everybody. AC after Corona. Oh, love you guys. And yeah, we'll be back. Make sure you guys are going in and subscribing to our YouTube channel. All these people who are watching, that would be amazing if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just
follow
type in LaMay.
Follow our Instagram page.
Yeah, here, LaMay Day. I'm putting it in the...
Yeah, please put it there.
At LaMay Day Limelight. So please make sure you're following us on our Instagram. We're going to do some more. We'll have some different topics. And
we'll do something next week for sure.
We've been
Shar!
Hi, Shar!
Bruh, you missed, like, girl.
The live queen. Shar's lives have been
Listen,
so amazing.
I
and
love
so lit.
Shar, and I love her lives, and I love her tweets, and this girl, Shar. Shar, we're gonna figure something out. We'd love to go live with you next week.
Absolutely. We have to. But yeah. Well, all right, Mr. J. Penn.
All right, Shariq LaMay.
Stay safe, everybody. Eat some kale.
Yeah, stay safe.
And then we'll check in with y'all.
Yeah, we will do another live next week. Let us plan something out, and hopefully we can find ways to make it very interactive.
Yeah, get you some sunlight and clear your mind. And the moral of this whole live is it's okay to be at home and be settled. Do not allow the pressures of society and all these bosses and entrepreneurs to make you feel belittled if you aren't waking up at 6 a.m. during this pandemic to go write a business plan or to go find products.
Move at your own pace.
Move at your own pace and
that's
chill out.
it.
Exactly. Yeah. Word to the wise and word to your mother. All right.
Okay. And that phone period.
All right, you guys. Be positive.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Sandra. But thank you, Marcus. Bye. Don't be
Bye.
late. That's right, Kisa. Bye.